Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. English. Homage to him, the Blessed One, the Accomplished One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Hello. How are you, all my Dhamma friends? All my well-wisher devotees. Trainings the minds. We have already briefly discussed the Karaniya Metta Sutta. The Buddha is discourse on universal love or Metta. Earlier I had referred it to the historical context or background of the sutta. I will just briefly recapitulate it and will then go on to analyze the sutta. As a mode of training the minds, which led to the development of virtue, which in turn led to the unshakable liberation of the minds, which is to say Nibbana. This sutta, like any other sutta of the Buddha, is one way of practicing the middle path approach of the Buddha. It is said that 84,000 pathways have been chiseled out by the Buddha to climb up the mountain leading to the summit to the state of spiritual perfection, nibbana or bodhi. The Karaniya Metta Sutta is a sutta which tells us how, based on the practice and philosophy of universal love, one can adopt the middle path approach or the noble eightfold path and reach nibbana, bodhi or enlightenment. This sutta outlines three stages, namely sila, samadhi, and panya. Sila means virtue and is born of the purifications of morality. One trains the minds in the practice of morality and purifies one's is moral. Practice the mind is like a mind. It is the source of all virtue, all knowledge. All power leading to freedom from the bondage of worldly existence. So, through sila, one trains the mind in order to develop it and ultimately to free or purify it completely. Here again is the English translation of the sutta. Hello friends, how are you all? Please subscribe my YouTube channel. Please. Once, whoever seeks his own welfare with the grasp of the state of perfect peace, he should be competent, honest, and upright, and gentle in speech, meek and not proud. 2. He should be contented, easy to support, not over busy, and simple in living, tranquil in his sense. Let him be prudent, not be brazen, nor fawning on families. 3. He should refrain from any actions that gives the wish one's reason to reprove. May all beings be happy and secure. May all be well disposed at heart. 4. Whatever living character there be, without exceptions, weak or strong, long or huge, middle size, short, minute or bulky. 5. whether visible or invisible, and those living afar or near, the born and those seeking birth. May all beings be happy. 6. Let none deceive or decry his fellow anywhere with resentment or hate. Let none wish another is harm. 7. Just as a mother would child with her own life and only child, so let him have a mind of boundless love for all beings. 8. Let him cultivate a mind of boundless love for all throughout the universe. In all its height, depth and breadth, love that is unrestricted and beyond hatred or enmity. 9. Whether we stand, walks, sit or lies down, as long as he is awake, let him maintain this mindfulness of love. Deem it here a divine state. 10. Holding no wrong views, virtues, and with visions of Nibbana, ultimate reality, having overcome all sensual desires, never in whom is he born again. Hello. Hi. Hi, friends. The Karaniya Metta Sutta indicates 3 stages of the purifications of the mind. The first is the Sila part, training the mind in moral purifications, which leads to freedom. We shall take up these aspects of the Sutta, through which one trains oneself in terms of virtue, not the word trainings. It means disciplining. It is a self-imposed discipline by which one builds virtue within oneself. The Karaniya Metta Sutta provides several states of virtue as an expression of metta, of universal love. Metta is to be practiced by cultivating certain wholesome qualities within oneself, and when we are upholding these higher moral standards within our own heart, then uh, automatically we are providing a sense of security to others, which is nothing but a pure expression of metta. In other words, this is metta in action. Every virtue practice is metta in action. Whoever seeks his own welfare, the Sutta says welfare here indicates true welfare, which means freedom from samsara, recurring worldly existence, freedom from this recurring existence. This commissions, this coming against and against, beings born against and against, endlessly one moves on and on in the field of samsara, the cycle of life, and in the process multiplies. One is suffering, so true welfare lies in winning freedom from samsara. One who seeks such welfare should clearly understand that there is a thing called freedoms and things called bondage, which is related to dukkha, suffering in the world in myriad ways. And if there is dukkha, there is also sukha, true happiness, born from freedom from conflicts, hatred, and enmity. It is only when we reach the perfect peace of nibbana that all conflicts will dissolve, all enmity and hatred, and therefore suffering will evaporate. Now a person who seeks liberation from samsara must start with a vision of these kinds of freedoms. In other words, before you train the minds on the path of metta, universal love, you have got to have a clear understanding of what you seek, what is the goals of your life, what exactly you are seeking by practicing your spiritual life. Your goals should be the ultimate peace, not the peace which is just momentary, a peace that passes away. The peace you should seek should be everlasting, and that can be only when one goes beyond samsaric bondage. So one who dreams of ultimate freedoms and the possibility of reaching nirvana, one has to exemplify virtue or metta in action as very clearly spelled out in the Karaniya Metta Sutta. There are several such necessary virtues as indicated in the Sutta. One should be able, one should be honest, one should be upright, one should be gentle in speech, one should be meek, not proud, one should be contented, not seeking all the time, wanting this, wanting that, and being forever discontented. He or she should develop contentment and be happy with whatever he or she has. Such a person should be easy to support, not overly busy but simple in living and tranquil in his or her sense. He or she should be prudent, wise and endowed with practical wisdom. He or she should not be brazen, shameless, and cruel, and also must not look down upon families. He or she should refrain from any action that gives weaker people the reason to admonish him or her. Only when a person is endowed with all these virtues, then such as being can truly exemplify universal love. So the pursuit of universal love has to be based on cultivation of these virtues. The pursuit of universal love must be impelled by the tremendous will of beings devoted to securing the happiness and security of all beings, humans as well as non-humans. The philosophy of universal love in action. This is what practical metta is. When we go into deeper aspects of these virtues, then we can clearly see that they are nothing but metta in day-to-day life or metta in practice. The Sutta says that one should be able, he or she should be competent, he or she must stand on his or her own feet and not depend upon others. This is an expression of metta. Please think deeply about this. It means taking responsibility for yourself. People often just pass the buck onto back onto somebody else to evade their own responsibilities. They want to make others do things for them. In this right, when you can do your things yourself, whether it be cleaning your shoes or washing your clothes, but you don't want to do these things, and so you tell someone else, do this, do that. This is making use of people for one's own convenience, placing oneself at the cost of others is something that comes as an obstacles in the way of spiritual development. It is the opposite of virtue. When you make use of others, then surely you lack metta, as you do not consider the difficulties or suffering of others. You have servants at home, so you order them around and say, come on, you do this and that, and you begin to make them do things for you. This is directly contrary to the philosophy of Metta. A person who really means it when he says, may all beings be happy, may all beings be well disposed at heart, will also say, I must do my things myself, I am competent to do it. If someone else can do it, why not I? This requires a measure of mindfulness. One has to cultivate mindfulness and be peaceful. This is what is called appamada in Pali. It denotes the need to be peaceful at all times. So, whenever you experience the temptations to make others people do things for you, as thought you are not able to do them yourself, it is nothing but the perpetuation of self-illusions. Metta is the very opposite of this self-centered approach. I know a doctor who is 90 years old or thereabouts, yet he washes his own clothes. He rose to the height in his career, but he still washes his own clothes. His daughter complained to me, he does this work himself, as though we cannot do it for him. You can learn an important lesson from this man, especially how he does not trouble others for his comfort. the Buddha used to stitch his own robe. He used to wear a robe with hundreds of stitches in it. Every time the robe developed a hole or tear, uh, he would stitch it himself. He would never boss around and say, "Come on, do this for me, do that for me." He was the greatest leader, supremely enlightened Buddha. He had all embracing love and compassion, and that is why he prepared to do things himself. So we should be able and competent in the same way, putting metta into practice in our practical life. This is morality at its height. Morality is all embracing. It shows it, it itself in various ways. This is one way of practicing morality. By purifying morality, one purifies the minds, and by purifying the minds, one frees the minds. So, as I said, one way of practicing universal love is by becoming competent, by becoming able to do things oneself, and by not being dependent on others and making them do things that one can and should do oneself. This is one way to get over the centeredness that holds you back in the samsara and obstructs nibbana. This is one form of practicing metta when one is able. It is only then that one can really promote what is real welfare, namely freedom from the cycles of worldly existence and they will not trouble others. Instead, one will have love and good feelings for them. Only one who is honest can have these kinds of competence or ability. What is honesty? Honesty is to be on the side of truth at all times. Now you can see today in our own country that is a good way to extrapolate the necessity of the virtue of honesty onto a wider field. If every Indian were honest, do you think there would be any corruption in our country, in our society? we waste of our atomic power and one superpower status, but the whole country is drowning in corruption. People all the time seeking bribes and giving bribes. If people really care for themselves, for their real well-being and the well-being of others, would they do this in India? In India, corruption has become a deep-rooted institution from top to bottom. You see it at every level, which is nothing but the expression of metta in action. And this virtue of metta can be expressed as honesty in many ways. You can express your honesty in the form of bodily actions. You can also express your honesty in the form of verbal actions. You can be honest and truthful, not tell lies. This is from backbiting or scolding people with harsh words, and refrains from gossiping. If you are really serious about freeing your mind from the bondage of defilements, then you have to be honest in your speech, in your bodily actions, and in your thoughts. So you cannot hurt anybody. If you are an honest person, you don't want to be hurt, so you don't want to hurt others. It is as simple as that. If you are an honest, cannot be violent, hitting and hurting others. Starting in your own home with your children or your wife or your husband, and then extending to others. You refrain from violent action because you see a great value in metta. If your philosophy of life is based on and geared to promoting the well-being of all, you cannot be harsh, you cannot be violent. Violence, you cannot steal or misappropriate others' property or takes bribes. You cannot be sexually immoral. You cannot engage in sexual misconduct. You cannot tell lies. You cannot drink alcohol and then makes a mess of yourself and create a nuisance for others. If you are honest, you just cannot break the Panchasila in others' words. Must purify your own life morally. If you have to be fully honest, and if you are to travel on the spiritual path, only one who is able and competent and honest can be really straightforward and upright. This is the third virtue enunciated in the Karaniya Metta Sutta. The Sutta says one should be able, honest and upright. Uprightness comes only when you stick to the principle of being right. Only when you are right can you be upright. If you are crooked, if you deceive others, or if you let others deceive you, or others you lack uprightness, a crooked mind simply indicates that such a person has a lot of mental defilements, and so long as a person is not upright and straight, he or she cannot cultivate the virtue of metta. One has to learn to be upright and honest and able and competent. If these virtues are practiced or exemplified by you in your life, simply it simply means you are practicing or exemplifying metta. So when it is understood in this way, metta in action will impact not only on one's own life but also on the wider society. When you really practice universal love, you will have great concern for the whole society and even the entire cosmos. Your concern will be for everybody, for even non-human sentient beings. You cannot simply say, I am a Hindu, I am a Buddhist, I am a Jain, and therefore I must only love Hindus or Buddhists or Jains and nobody else. This sort of communalism, communalism has no place if you truly practice metta. Buddhists or whatever, and whether they are Indians, Pakistanis, Americans, or anyone else, metta does not discriminate. When you are universal in your approach, then only you are truly pursuing the path of universal love. If one is able, honest, and upright, one's speech is bound to be gentle and not harsh. One does not want somebody else to be harsh, to see oh, okay. mm, one does not want somebody else to be harsh to once. So why should we harsh to somebody else? We can speak gently. We can say what we want lovingly. We must refrain from being proud. Pride comes only if one has mana or conceit. When you feel yourself to be inferior to others, it may be because you are not competent, honest, or upright. Maybe because of this, you are arrogant and proud. But if you learn to behave and speak gently, you can overcome your sense of inferiority and your arrogance, and you can learn to cultivate the virtues you need to advance spiritually. The virtues uh, Adam Adam breath Adam breathed in the Karaniya Metta Sutta are forms of metta that one should engage in and reflects in one's day-to-day life. Metta can be and has to be practiced in many ways throughout the day. If you want somebody to love you, then you must know how to love others. If you want somebody to be about, you will have to be about yourself. If you want somebody to be and meek, not proud, these are all forms of virtue or sila. Sila is not just the 5 chilas, 8 chilas, or 10 chilas. It is the day-to-day goodness or virtue that we cultivate for our own benefit and also the benefits of others. May the blessings of the Lord Buddha and his grace be upon you. Metta, a way of life. In this series on the Karaniya Metta Sutta, we have been analyzing metta as a way of life. The Karaniya Metta Sutta is a Harita Sutta or a protective discourse. A Parita Sutta is one that protects life here and now and makes a spiritual life easy by providing protection of all kinds. This sutta, like any other sutta, reflects that middle path approach of the Buddha. It deals with metta, sila, or metta in spirit, virtues or qualities, Metta Samadhi, the meditative practice of Metta, and Metta Panya, the Vipassana practice inside of Metta. Oh. Oh. I am Indian. I am from India. In today we will deal with Metta Sila aspects of the Sutta. The Buddha starts the Sutta by saying that he who seeks his true well-being and the promotions of his true welfare should be able, honest, upright, gentle in speech, and meek, not proud. This suggests that Metta as a way of life requires a fresh look into our thinking, into the way we act, the way we speak, the way we conduct ourselves. A fresh look at life, which is normally self-centered. Life as it is generally led is basically self-centered. Now, taking Metta as a way of life, this force should be reversed and directed toward promotions of not only self-interest all the time, but also the interest of others. This very wholesome approach to life has to be such that Metta is reflected everywhere and thought out in every aspect of our day-to-day life. Now, for instance, if we change our stance, moving from our selfish interest to being concerned with the interest of all, it is natural that we will develop a service-minded approach to life which would be more helpful and useful to others and would want to serve the interests of everybody, including non-human beings. This can be done by everyone in all circumstances of life, wherever a person is placed and in whatever condition, in order to be of help to somebody, to be service-minded. It is absolutely essential that we should be energetic in pursuing our Metta way of living by serving others, by serving the world, and by serving ourselves. To this means that we also have to be honest and upright. To be able to serve others is not very easy. To become the politicians is one thing. Working for the good of others in a sincere and honest way is quite different. These are two altogether different approaches. Human beings seek their own welfare all the time. Now we are trying to reverse this. We are trying to look at the world from a very different perspective. We want to promote a way of living by which not only our interest is served, uh, but also the interest of everyone else. To do so, one has to be energetic, able, and competent. If all this while you wanted somebody to serve you now instead of that, why not serve others for simple things like washing your clothes? Why should you depend on somebody else to do it? By doing it yourself, you are allowing that others expression, other other person to be comfortable or at yes, it's for sometimes this is a practical expression of metta in daily life. In this same manner, we investigate our daily life in all aspects, try to use how much you depend upon others, how you make use of others for your comfort. See whether you can reverse this and whether you can become confident and able to let this be extrapolated to all aspects of your life. Not giving trouble to others is the very basic approach of metta. This is a very wholesome approach. Metta in action to be service minded, to be helpful to others and not to depend on them or exploit them in any manner. So make sincere effort to sense your alliance self-rotate approach to work for everybody is good for the good of humans. Go for the good of all non-human beings too. This approach will elevate your mind. Hello. Hi. All my Dhamma friends. About How are you? Once you take up this philosophy of life, then everything in your life will begin to change. You will see that your life become very different. So honesty, uprightness, a straightforwardness. These qualities should reflect in all of our dealings in life. Uh, that is where metta is lived here and now. Metta in action. Metta is not just sitting and meditating for a few minutes or half an hour or an hour daily in a pre- mm, prescribed pre, mm, pres, prescribed way. No, it is much more than that. Metta must be reflected in our day-to-day conduct everywhere and in everything we do. A teacher teaching his student has to sometimes take action which the student may not like. But if the teacher wants the student to transform their lives, even the strict way of the teacher, if used wisely, can be a form of metta. Parents sometimes wisely discipline children for their good. That is a form of metta too. Metta is not about being so soft and silent in all situations. It is about seeking the true benefit of uh, another person in a right manner. Sometimes taking disciplinary action are required to bring a person back on the right track. If anyone gives us guidance on the spiritual path, and then we should be ready to receive. Obedience is also necessary, but to get someone to obey something right, it is not necessary to be abusive in a speech. Thought at times a little strong speech may be necessary, and it must be rooted in metta. Gentleness, gentleness is the approach of metta in actions, and it is far more effective than the rote and thought conventional approach of the world. People think that by being harsh, thought, thought they can get things done. They think that by being militant and aggressive, one can get more. However, that is a wrong approach altogether. By gentleness, one can get far better results in life than by being aggressive in a competitive world. Aggressiveness, militancy, so-called thoughtness, these things are praised, but a competitive world does not reflect. the word of wisdom in the word of wisdom, Metta alone works, and that means gentleness and softness, not being conceited and proud, but being humble. Humility is a great virtue, and metta can be reflected uh, only through the virtues of humility, gentleness, friendliness, and kindliness. Oh, hello. I am from India, state Mizoram. I'm Indian. Hello, sir. Okay. To sincerely practice metta, you must learn to be contented, to be satisfied with. Yeah, raining. With whatever you have, not seeking this or that, not uh, wanting this or that all the time. Being discontented does not make any sense at all. Life then becomes a burden. But most people's lives are devoted to seeking something or the other, things that they imagine will give them pleasure, comfort, names and fame, power, position. Even in the name of seeking knowledge, you go on accumulating information in order to boost your ego. It makes no sense at all. So we have to put a break somewhere on wanting things, and that is can be done by being contented with whatever you have. Santusti or contentment. Oh, to be satisfied with whatever we have. You see, when people find their food has less salt, they clear up in anger. What a pity, a person who cannot be contented with whatever he or she gets, and in a state remains perpetually dissatisfied, can never be happy. The metta approach is just the opposite. Whatever we are very happy with, no complaint, no finding fault, just being satisfied, being contented with whatever you have, with whatever you receive, and being grateful for it. Lord Buddha has said that contentment is the greatest wealth. People may have a lot of wealth, but if they don't know how to curb their greed and dissatisfaction. Then they will not find happiness. Such wealth is of no use to them. Thus, contentment is a great virtue indeed. If this virtue of being contented, being satisfied, is brought to bear upon everything in life, life can indeed become a spiritual adventure, no question about it. Those who are dissatisfied are miserable, while those who are contented are truly happy, truly fulfilled. Uh, so, contentment is a great virtue, and that is one way one express metta in action in daily life. I shall stop. I shall stop here for today. May all being be happy. Hello friends, all my well-wisher devotees. How are you? Metta and releasing the truth. The subject of today's discourse is the relationship between Metta, universal love, and the results realizations of the truth here and now in our day-to-day life. Truth should not be thought of as and a merry concept. It is not just the mere absence of falsehood. It is something much more than that. How through the practice of metta we can realize the truth in our day-to-day life will be the subject of the discourse today. We shall discuss how the truth has to be actualized in our day-to-day life. For this purpose, the sutta I have selected today is the Ambalatika Rahulavada Sutta. A year after this enlightenment, the Buddha visited Kapilavastu. He had said that as soon as he attained the highest truth and becomes an enlightened one, he would go back and share his experience and knowledge with his near and dear ones in order to fulfill his promise. He left Gajagaha and arrived at Kapilavastu. He stayed there for 2 months and then returned along with a number of his relatives, including his son Rahula and his brother Nanda. The Buddha then arrived at the Belu, uh, Benubana in Rajagaha. He was staying at a distance from the center of the monastery, which was very big. The monastery had 12,500 monks. Rahula was asked where he would like to stay. He was just 7 years old at that time. He replied that he wanted to stay in seclusion. He had been a prince till a short while earlier, and he was just 7 years old at that time. As a prince, he had enjoyed all the comfort and privilege of royal life. But now he becomes a novice monk and wanted to stay in seclusion. He wanted to be in a peaceful atmosphere. Which would assist him in the purification of his mind and the perfection of his spiritual qualities. One day after his meditation, the Buddha wanted to visit Rahula in the secluded retreat monastery. He went there in the afternoon in the secluded retreat monastery. He went there in the afternoon. Rahula saw him coming from afar and hurried along with a pot of water to wash his feet. As soon as the Buddha came, Rahula worshipped the Buddha with a bit of water remained in the pot. The Buddha made this an illustration for the spiritual guidance of the young monk. He asked Rahula if he could see the bits of water remaining in the pot. Rahula said, "Yes, Lord, I do see it." And then the Buddha said to him, "A life devoid of truth, a life which is not committed to truth, therefore empty of truth, is as empty and trivial as this little pot with very little water. Saying this, the Buddha threw away the water that remained in the pot and said, "The pot is empty and there is nothing in there. Do you see, Rahula, the empty pot without any water?" "Yes, Lord, I do see," Rahula replied. Then the Buddha said, "The life devoid of commitment to truth is as usually empty as this pot." Saying this, he took the pot and turned it upside down. "Do you see the pot upside down?" He asked Rahula. "Yes, Lord, I do see," Rahula said. Then the Buddha said, "If life is empty of truth, empty of seeking for the truth, empty of dedication to the truth, then everything in life becomes upside down. Everything becomes topsy-turvy. If life is empty of truth or the desire for the truth, you then perceive everything in the opposite way to what it really is. Where there is reality, you think it as unreal. You mistake the real for the unreal and the unreal for the real. The non-essential becomes important. The essential becomes unimportant. Reality is missed and unreality is emphasis. This is what happens usually when one does not commit oneself to the search for truth. One can never realize it. The realization of the ultimate truth starts with the here and now in one day-to-day conduct in life. This lesson went deep into the minds of young monks. Rahula and the Buddha said, "From now on, be careful, Rahula, never be untruthful, never utter one untruthful word." Truthfulness does not only means not merely telling lies, it means many other things too. Metta is the practice of truthfulness in a very important way. Metta means universal loving kindness. What is it that we are seeking by practicing metta? We are seeking that everyone, all beings, humans as well as non-humans, should be happy. We are seeking our own well-being, our own happiness, and at the same time the well-being and happiness of others. We extrapolate the deep concern that we have for our own happiness and our own well-being and extend it to every other form of life, not only those who are near and dear to us, our own kith and kin, but also those around us, everyone in our neighborhood, in our city, in our country, and the entire globe, including non-humans too, we radiate thoughts of love, thoughts of universal love to embrace every being without any distinction whatsoever, whether male or female, our relative or other human beings, but animals and all of other beings. These spreadings of universal love to embrace every form of life has a very deep spiritual significance. It starts with oneself when we say, "May I be happy, may I enjoy peace, security, and well-being," and then extend with the same wish for every other character. We seek happiness because without happiness there is nothing uh, but dukkha, suffering. When you penetrate into the reality of life, you will find that life is immersed in dukkha. It is satu- saturated with all kinds of suffering, pains, and agony. For instance, when we get up in the mornings, the first things we need to do is to wash our mouth and clean ourselves. Why? Because otherwise we are uneasy. We are not at it at all with the foul smell that comes from the mouth, and this makes life very uncomfortable. So the facts that the first things you do in the morning is to make yourself happy so that life can be really suffused surpassed with dukkha. In order to avoid suffering, you wash your mouth the first things after getting up, and then you one breakfast. Why? It is for the same reason, because if you don't eat, you suffer. You suffer. You are forced to eat in order to get out of suffering. It removes the dukkha caused by hunger. Our whole practice of Dhamma is to develop wisdom to penetrate into the nature of things. In order to avoid dukkha, because life is surrounded by dukkha, we seek our own happiness. We seek our well-being. The clear comprehension of dukkha can make our mind wiser. Then we can see that all forms of life are immersed in dukkha as we recognize this deep truth about all lives. Hatefulness, hatefulness, every start going away from our hearts. We know that, like ourselves, everyone also seeks the same happiness and wishes to avoid dukkha. This can truly make our minds compassionate toward others, and we seek their happiness and welfare. That is nothing but metta. Now, spread, spread that some cons- now spread that same concern for the well-beings which we seek for ourselves all around to everybody, because everybody seeks happiness, everybody seeks their own well-being. The truth of metta therefore is that by practicing our exemplifying metta, all you want to do is to realize the ultimate nature of things, which is dukkha, and bring about happiness instead. The Karaniya Metta Sutta, as earlier discussed, deals with metta, sila, metta samadhi, and metta panya, and so reflects the noble means purifications of minds. The third panya refer to the developments of wisdom or penetrations of the ultimate reality or truth. It is only by penetrating into truth that we can achieve the ultimate truth of nibbana. The ultimate truth of life is nibbana, freedom from suffering, and this is possible only by leading a life that makes an end to suffering. Suffering is related to life, and freedom from suffering is also related to life. So we try to seek truth in life, around life, and throughout all the activities of life by practicing that which removes dukkha or suffering, namely metta. Practice metta in a real way, sincerely, and you will see what wonderful results follow. For the ultimate peace of nibbana, throughout the practice of metta, you have to start with becoming very able, very competent, very efficient, because if you are not efficient and competent, you bring about suffering upon yourself and also on others too, and then you cannot succeed. In order to avoid suffering and in order to bring happiness in oneself and in others, practice metta. Avoid making life trivial and empty, and try to make it meaningful. Instead, ask yourself before engaging in any bodily, verbal, or mental action, if this action will lead to one's own well-being as well as the well-being of others. The well-being of all this ought to be the criterions before deciding on any and every action if you perform. All action based on this awareness, every action becomes a universal love-oriented action. These are the instructions of the Sutta we discussed today, and they show that Metta is the heart of spiritual life, the heart of the church for ultimate reality. To really lead a spiritual life by means of the Noble Eightfold Path of Sila, Samadhi, and Panya, it is absolutely necessary that one must start with Metta, Sila, putting Metta into action in your day-to-day life in many ways. In the Karaniya Metta Sutta, as we have seen, it says that one should be able and competent in whatever one is doing in one's day-to-day life. You could be a doctor or an engineer or a housewife or anything else, but whatever you do, you should do it efficiently, be efficient and competent about it. That help you and it helps others as well. Similarly, be honest and absolutely upright, because only by being honest and upright can you be truthful and committed to the pursuit of truth in your day-to-day life, leading to the realizations of the ultimate truth. Be gentle in speech, for it is only by being gentle and not harsh and thought that you can practice metta. Metta is practiced only by those who are gentle and not harsh. By being harsh, we hurt others and we hurt ourselves also in the process. In the same fashion, whatever you say it gently, kindly, and truthfully. Seek to promote your own well-being as also the well-being of others. To practice metta, you have to be meek, not arrogant, not egoistic, A person who is given to arrogance and ego thinks invi- invariably falls prey to anger, hatred, resentment, and all such negative qualities. They are the very opposite of metta. The opposite of metta is hurting others. The opposite of metta is being rude. In order to practice metta, a person must also be contented. You should be easy to support by being contented. You promote your well-being and the well-being of others by being easy to support. You promote your well-being and the well-being of others by doing so. You are touching the very heart of the truth. Everybody seeks sukha. So by promoting sukha for oneself and others too, one avoid dukkha, one's own dukkha and the dukkha of others. Similarly, one promotes metta by not being very busy all the time. Generally, a busy body does good to nobody in the world. A busy body harms himself and others too. So it is better to stick to the few tasks one has and do them well with one's heart. Fill it with metta. Simple living is the best way of promoting metta. On the other hand, a complicated life and overly busy, frantic life given to too many engagements does not lead anywhere. Only a simple life lead to universal love. The practice of seeking one is well-being and others well-being and the tranquility of the chants. The chants are the doorways to experience Dewa with a metta, fill it mind with a mind, fill it with universal love, then all experience that follow from sensory contact also get charged with metta. Also, when we have true metta based on wisdom and peaceful peacefulness, that not agitated by the sensory contact so much. This is how the day-to-day life experience can be converted into metta experience. Metta promotes wisdom in the forms of prudence. So to practice metta sila, you have to be very conscious and carefully think before you do anything, say anything, and think anything. This is imperative if you have to practice metta in the form of vicious actions in your everyday life. If a person is given to lying or is shameless or acts impulsively without thinking, he cannot realize the truth because metta cannot be practiced in this way. If you are given uh, fawning on others or trying to please them just to get something out of them, it is not conducive at all to practicing metta. Is that promote the well-being of others by being greedy. And in the Karaniya Metta Sutta, as we earlier saw, specific actions are outlined as metta action. By practicing metta in actions in this way, one can lead a life of virtue, a life of truthfulness, through which one promotes one's own well-being as well as that of others. And this is Metta Sila. In our next discourse, we shall take up another part of the Sutta, which deals with Metta as meditation, the practice of Metta meditation, which bring about purification of the minds and thereby gives reach to all the potentials of the mind, to all the good things that the mind is capable of, knowledge, wisdom, virtue, power. All these flow from metta meditation. Practicing metta in the form of meditation is a wonderful way of purifying the minds and of developing the minds and all its good potentials. Today we dealt with Metta Sila. What exactly is meant by Metta Sila? What practicing Metta in one's day-to-day life led to, and how in this way one can travel on the path of the search for the truth. We have seen how important it is in order to actualize the truth in our day-to-day life, so that one day we might realize the ultimate truth, Nibbana. May the grace of Lord Buddha, the very embodiments of highest metta, the embodiments of all embracing love and compassion and truth, surround your lives with metta. May you all be happy. May you all enjoy the peace of metta. Sabbe satta sugita hantu. Thank you. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakantu sabba devotam sabba buddha nubhabena sadasoti bhavantote. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakantu sabba devota sabba dhamma nubhabena sadasoti bhavantote. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakantu sabba devotam sabba sangganu vavena sadasati bhavantuti. Itina caca bhajina sotiti hotu sabada. Etina caca bhajina sabaduka sabba bayu. Sabba roga sabba antarayu. Sabba upadawa dunimitang binacantu. Etina caca bhajina hotu te jaya mangolanti. Sadhu, sadhu, Sadhu. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.